Brew. I'm Samus, he's Travis, and we're going to jump straight into it because my wife took both dogs to the park. Remington started his new job today, so God only knows when my house is going to turn into a giant cluster F of noise and confuddle. Is that a word?
Okay.
Confuddle? Cafoodle?
Yeah.
Basically a catastrophe of magic and noise. Blah, 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 blah. So, let's just get right into it. This is episode 131. I sold my collection, subtitle No Sleep. And I have to put in the apology right away, as usual. I started working on editing this week's show on Monday. And I basically have gone, I don't even know what day it is. Is this Wednesday? I've basically gone like the last 3 or 4 days with 3 to 4 hours of sleep each night at best. And last night I laid down to go to sleep like 4 times. Never slept, so I just got up. The next thing I know, my wife's getting up to go to work. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just like, alright, well, I'm going to try to go to sleep again. And probably not happen. So I did eventually get a few hours of sleep. So everything is behind. Like every single thing is not done, not correct. And that's on me and my stupid brain. You have days like that, Travis?
Where I just don't sleep?
Where the insomnia just kicks in because of the pain in your head screaming just right?
It's not necessarily because the pain in my head is screaming. It's more or less that I can't get it to stop thinking.
I get a little bit of that too. Usually it's thinking about the pain in my head though.
Oh, yeah, no, like, if I do get migraines, it's very rare, and generally, I don't know, for me it's really easy to deal with my migraines, because I just overload with iron.
Okay. So
yeah,
you're
so
saying
it's like,
that you're not you need more magnetic material to offset the robot or the space waves that are causing you the migraines? It's a good plan.
sure.
Yeah, that'll work.
Like, I don't know if that's, that helps it, but every time, like, I just get severe headaches that medicine won't even, like, help. I just eat, like, half a package of, like, the sandwich, like the sandwich meats or whatever.
Right?
Yeah, I just eat like half a thing of ham of that, and it just kind of goes away after that.
Is ham known for being iron rich?
Yeah, ham and spinach are two of the most iron heavy
Well, I would
foods.
say I would agree with spinach, but I did not know that ham. I mean, I have to keep that in mind, I guess. I don't know. All I know is I've had I don't think that's That's my problem because actually I've been having ham sandwiches basically this week. Maybe I have too much iron. Maybe
That could be it.
Maybe too many spinaches. No, it's not it at all.
I have too many spinach.
No, my stuff was messing up, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor made some adjustments, and I still felt like there was something wrong. And so we took another crack at things, and I still don't think we got everything re-shoved in where it needs to go. So I'm pretty sure I'm still just got something out of place. My high quality bone structure and shit.
Yep.
Anyway, this is not a podcast complaining about the podcast. This is a podcast about magical gatherings. So, again, basically this week, since I have done no show prep, essentially, the talking points we have down right now is I sold my collection. I assume that's you have sold your things.
Yes.
Jace's spellbook, which seems like you already started another collection again. This massive ass spider that's on my desk right now. Come here, Tissue.
Oh, don't kill it.
It's super. I may or may not have gotten it. I don't see the mess. Oh, there it went. There it went. It's gone. I don't know what it was.
Good.
It looked like a baby recluse, but whatever. Let's see. Jace's spellbook. Champ Weekend. Not that this will be up in time for anyone to actually see it, unless they go watch the YouTube video for Champ Weekend. And then the Fire Song and Sung Speaker list. I've been working on it again this week. Still. So, Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So, why don't you start us off with you sold your collection?
So on Friday, there was a guy there. He was basically he's a MTG finance guy or whatever. He has a big online store, and he was basically just saying, "Hey, you guys have extra bulk, any rares that you don't want, commons, uncommons, foils. I'll take them off your hand for I think it was like 70% of the price."
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I was like, I can't beat that. Like here, I mean, it'll be store credit, and it's like everywhere else, it's gonna be like store credit would be the best at like 60%,
Right.
but then yeah, 70% cash. I'll take that. So basically, I took everything that I wasn't using, that I didn't have plans for, and that wasn't part of my personal like stupid collection.
So
And I
basically
took it
everything that
all.
was in your other folders.
Yeah, like just the things that I will not trade because they're not even that they're good, they're just like important to me.
Sure.
Like my playset of Demonic Pact and Harmless Offering. I kept those because, well, I mean, okay, yeah, nobody's going to use them, but I like them.
Which is weird because
Yeah, just
I literally just de-sleeved my Demonic Pack deck. And we actually have a Frontier tournament at the end of the month, and I was reconsidering sleeving up Demonic Pack. So,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, so I basically took everything. So now I have my one standard deck, my two modern decks, my commander, and my two legacy decks.
Hmm.
I use the air quotes because, well, one of the legacy decks is Rat Colony.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just I know one of the last things that you tweeted before you decided to delete your Twitter, which by the way we'll get to later. Travis deleted his Twitter like a puss. But one of the last things was you were looking around your room and you had like two piles of stuff, and you were angry that you had that much stuff, but it wasn't like you could still backpack with your stuff probably, or at the very least put it in a suitcase and carry it around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Now you even have less.
Right.
On the flip side, though, you probably got a good pile of cash out of it. Do you want to give us a total of dollar bills that you were able to acquire? Was it less than 1,000?
Yeah, it was because like I said, I kept the stuff that I'm using, which that's the majority is like the fetch lands, do like shock lands,
Sure.
stuff like that. And then me and one of the other people I play with, we're basically in debt to each other when it comes to cards because he wants cash, I want cash. So we're just like, okay, here, here's this, and then back and forth stuff like that. Uh, so I only got $450 out of it.
Still
I mean, it's
alright,
not
though.
bad because, yeah. Well, I mean, I sold I sold a collection last year, so I was still in the process of rebuilding. When I say rebuilding, I mean it's like
So
when I draft.
I think what there needs to be is another term where it's not really that you're selling off a collection, but like you're parting certain pieces out. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
we
Like
could.
you're
Yeah, I I get. Yeah, like I know what you're saying because when people think of collection, they kind of think of like either everything or expensive things.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like here in the next
How,
few months, I'm going to be selling a lot of my collection, but I'm just going to piece a lot of it out. I'm not going to necessarily get rid of everything. Um,
right.
but like original duels will probably, depending on their current price, probably go. I don't know if we talked about this last show. I can't remember, but I saw a thing saying that revised dual lands will probably hit $1,000 in the next, either if not by the end of this year, definitely next year for sure.
Yep.
So, like, I'm kind of waiting to see if I can hit that $1,000 crest before piecing out my revised duels. At least the ones that are in good shape. So, like, all that stuff's going into the bus fund, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to sell it off now because we're not ready to pull the trigger on the bus yet.
Well, you could still put it in the bank.
I could, but again, if it's going to, like, right now, revised volcanic island is around 450, 500, give or take, depending on condition, and mine are in really good condition. So if in 6 months it could double to $1,000, then I certainly don't want to turn it into 4% interest now by cashing out, throwing it in the bank now, when I could instead get 100% interest by just leaving it collecting dust basically behind me for another 6 months.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, certain things that will probably fall, and Wizards is doing a great job of like printing stuff to like make my collection take it in the shorts. Lately, it feels like. So I'm kind of looking at getting rid of some other stuff a little quicker. That being said, I'm still in the market of buying cards, which is my crazy thing. Like, I'm still picking up this and that and the other thing for like modern decks that I'll probably never assemble. Stuff like that, but I'm always like, well, if I just get these 6 more cards, I might put this deck together to the point where I'll play it, you know?
Yeah.
And with Remington going off to college here in a few months, I'm even less sure that any of these things will ever happen, so I should probably just start selling things. But yeah, there needs to be a slightly different term. I'm not sure what that term needs to be, but there needs to be something between selling the collection and just like selling off some singles. Like, you sold some bulk and maybe even some quality cards, but
yeah. So I sold I had a 4-page. How they come in like 9-page binders.
yes.
So I had the 4-page binder.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that one like halfway full of cards that cost more than $10, and then everything else was bulk. And I had like maybe 400 or 500 cards that were bulk, maybe.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But like, even still, that was a lot of crap for me, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the process. I look around my office right now and I'm just like, a lot of this stuff can be pared down. But then on the flip side, I want to actually get the bus and start figuring out what we're doing before I get rid of something that I think I might want.
Yeah.
So like, I have a couple of light fixtures over in the corner and I'm like, I really don't need all of these. But I get in the bus and I start putting up light fixtures and I might be like, oh man, I wish I had another light fixture. I don't have to go buy, another $30 light fixture when I just would have had one if I just would have waited another week or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to do some limp along stuff. I think this second monitor is trying to die, so I'm like trying real hard to baby it along for a few more months because I'm not sure what we'll have and when we'll have it. So yeah, literally I gave it, what do they call it when you hit something a whole bunch? Kinetic
Love taps.
Love taps. Kinetic I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? We've digressed again.
Yep.
So yeah, what are you going to do with your collection profits now? Like, that was a bit of a windfall, basically. So what are you going to do with it? Are you buying more cards? Or are you?
No. I just put it in my bank.
Okay. Yeah, I always like it when I sell something off like that to pick up at least one thing that I've been wanting that may be a little bit more expensive that I haven't gotten.
Yeah, so I did actually spend 100 of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, and I don't know if I don't know if the store was supposed to sell multiples to people, but I bought 4 boxes of Jace's spellbook.
Oh, nice. Way to segue into the next question. That's awesome. So you must really think it's a good deal then.
Yeah, I mean it's 20. It's okay. So MSRP is $25. So in theory, it should be selling for that much. Really, I got it because I really enjoy the look of it, like all the art. And you know me, I really dislike Jace, but just the way that all the cards were drawn, it's just really, really nice to me. It's really aesthetically pleasing, so that's why I bought it.
Yeah, I looked at them last week and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, but I didn't buy any because I think I have most of those cards that are in there.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind having a set of those counter spells, but it's like, do you spend $100 on a playset of counter spells? I don't, but you know, I think they're probably worth the value. I know that we had a couple people open them up at the shop with me, and they were very very pleased.
Yeah.
So out of you get one foil per thing, right? At
Right.
random, basically. So you flashed one to me before we started. You wanna tell everyone what your foils were?
So I got a foil mystical tutor,
That seems good.
which, yeah, a foil blue elemental blast,
That seems okay.
and 2 Jaces.
Two Jaces. Oh, it's time
Yeah.
to get over this I don't like Jace thing. Start playing some party Jace in modern.
Yeah, I already threw it. I already threw it in my mill deck.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm just not sure if I would pull the trigger on something like that. Excuse me. Remember
Well,
that
if I
no
didn't
sleep thing I said before? All right. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I didn't have the extra funds, I probably wouldn't even bought a single one.
Yeah.
Simply because I don't like Jace. Like I like the art, but
Yeah, I think it looks good. I know it's hard to for those of us looking at the camera. I know it's hard to look at, but I do think they look pretty good. Like I said, I was really impressed with the counter spell, and I thought the Gifts Ungiven, right? Gifts Ungiven also had different art. That gets, yeah.
oh yeah.
I like the Gift Ungiven art if I remember right. But
Let's see mystical tutors different art.
I think they were all basically different, weren't they? Except
Yeah,
for the
negate
original Jace.
I think Jace is the only thing that didn't have different art,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
and I'm not sure about the. No, the counterspell has to be different.
Let me see, because I remember it being a different counterspell art than I looked at. Okay, so that actually is a reprint of art.
Okay.
But it's out of the Jace vs Chandra deck, which is
Okay.
which is the art that I like. With Jace on it. So that was it. That was what it was. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it's worth the dollars if you have the disposable income, or if you want to piece it out like over the course of a couple of weeks or months or whatever. Assuming that your shop has them in stock. If they're just gonna disappear, out off the shelf like in a weekend. I don't know if I'd pull the trigger on 4 of them that way. But I think they're going to be around. I'm hoping that they're going to do these with more iconic stuff. I think these are a good way to kind of do some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would love to see like Garrick's spellbook and
I was thinking Lily.
Chandra, Gideon, Lily would be great.
Yeah.
Like just the original 5.
I wouldn't even mind if they continued to pick like. In fact, I'd be more excited if they would pick some lesser known planeswalkers and do them.
Tybalt.
You know, that's everyone's like go to. But I was thinking like Raw's Eric would be like my first choice. That would be great. Ashiok would be great. Although
Sarkin.
And I think what they would have to Sarkin just got a new card, by the way, spoiled I think today.
He got 2. Well, okay, so he got the Planeswalker deck and uh one in the set.
Oh, is he a plant? Okay. I didn't like look
Mhm.
super. I've literally been what I would consider usefully conscious for less than an hour, so that's based off of when I was able to go to sleep in my hazy dream sleep around 11 o'clock. So I don't know. I think that if they were to also were to make some new ones, I guess the problem would be that because they're iconic spells, right, that are tied with the Planeswalker, it'd be a little difficult to make an iconic spell that whatever. I guess it doesn't have to be an iconic spell as long as it's tied to that Planeswalker, for example. Then they can print it later in standard or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of like a future shifted esque card. That could be really, really interesting thing to do.
Well, and even like looking at it, and then just the different aspects of Jace's spell book, it doesn't even the cards aren't even really tied into Jace himself as much as what a blue mage is.
Yeah, I thought isn't one of them a Jace's cards in particular or no?
Um,
I thought one was like a Jace's something or other.
let's see, you got Mystical Tutor,
Okay.
Negate,
Okay.
Threads of Disloyalty,
Okay. God, that's a good card.
Counterspell,
Okay.
Brainstorm.
Okay. That's kind of like a Jace card.
Yeah. Blue Elemental Blast,
Okay.
Gifts Ungiven, and Jace.
Okay. So the only one in there that was specifically Jace related was Jace.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right.
I think
So
it's more just what would Jace do? Oh, he would negate things. Now just think if they put Cryptic
WWJD.
Command in there.
Well, that's just it. I figured. I realized they're trying to keep the price down, so they're putting in cards that are not necessarily like reprint hunted cards. Like the Liliana
Right.
one, in theory, would never be like Liliana of the Veil as the Planeswalker, right? You would get one of the 5 mana lilies probably. That's less than $12 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea. I'd like to see some more. I'd like to see them like maybe invent some new cards for them in the future, or whatever. We'll just see. So Champ Weekend, are you planning on going?
Yes.
Okay. You said you sold everything but your one standard deck. So what standard deck did you leave?
Dinos.
Dinos. All right. All right. And how do you feel your matchup's going to be? Probably okay, right? Since you just use it to win like your PPTQ.
Right. As long as like the only thing I haven't ever tested against was like a control deck. So as long as no one shows up with control decks, I should be fine.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
So my meta has shifted since the Pro Tour into like 8 people playing either red or red black aggro. I played that mono blacklist that we talked about a couple of weeks ago at something, I forget what, and then of course Jackie is still on some variation of Second Son. So if I can, I don't know, Jackie has got my number this. So for those of you who don't know, Jackie's a good friend of the show. For the last 2 of these champs, it has been Jackie and I in the finals in game 3, involving some sort of like either run of top decks or a memory where one of us gets the hose and draws like 6 lands, and the other one loads up like on counter spells or whatever. Usually I'm the one getting the hose, as Jackie has taken the last 2 playmats home in a row. So I need to figure out a way to to take a mat home. Not that I'm particularly in love with this mat. Have you seen this mat? It's the Teferi Champ mat, I believe.
The one that I saw was Nicobolus.
I'm pretty sure this go round is Teferi.
Why would they do a Teferi one when?
Because it was Dominaria block.
Uh-huh.
So Teferi was the chase out of there. Like
Right, so why wouldn't that one be the one that was done before?
it's always the block. The champ got moved to the end of the season. So it's the important card is at the end of the. So it's like a capstone tournament for the format. So I'm pretty sure it's Teferi this time. Now the next one might be Nicobolus for the M19 champ, which I assume they're going to have an M19 champ. I'm not sure. But assuming that works out correctly, then that would be my guess for that will be Nicobolus. So it's the pretty sure it's the Teferi Planewalker in his pose that he's doing like right here on the Magic the Gathering border, but without the Karn and the. Is it Jaya Ballard? No, I don't know who that is. I don't know who the various people are by looking at the pictures.
Is it an older lady?
No, it's. I think it's the blue.
Is it the younger, like, blue shirt, reddish hair?
Yeah, I think it's the draw a card every time you play an artifact or legendary.
Yeah, Joyra.
Yeah, that one. I think it's her. But I'm pretty sure he's in that pose, like he's holding up his stick or fist or whatever it is. I have to look again. So basically, I've been working on that Fire Song and Sunspeaker list, trying to figure out how to handle all the things. And it's okay-ish. I went ahead and I went a little bit more on the burn side. I'm thinking about adding I think it's called a Primal Amulet, maybe. I think it costs 3 mana, and all your instants and sorceries cost 1 mana less. But that's weird. I swear I hear a dog, but then the wife sent me a text message saying she took both dogs. So I have no idea what that noise is. We may have a dog.
Yeah, you definitely hear a dog because I hear it.
I may have a dog intruder, I guess is what I'm saying. I 100% hear dogs running down the stairs now. Okay. Anyway, and I see a dog. I see 2 dogs. The wife must have gotten home and snuck in, I guess. I don't know. Anyhow, get out of that. Get out of my office. Get out of here. You fuzzy little 4-legged freaks. She just doesn't care. So I'm thinking about putting that Primal Amulet. 1, to lower the spells of instants and sorceries. But 2, if I ever get it to flip over, it lets you double things. And I'm thinking that my specific way to fight the control deck like that is fight with fire. Because I believe if a spell is kicked and you copy it, it stays kicked. Right? Like X in the spell doesn't get copied, so I can't use like immobulating fire. But I can copy a kicked spell and it remains kicked. So that's my thinking for how to beat the control deck. It's like, well, hey, you can stop the first one, but can you stop them both?
Because so I'm just reading a kicked card right now. It says, obviously this won't work since it's a creature, so you can't copy it with the flip. But when Varric's Bladewing enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a thing. So I don't actually know.
Alright, I'm Googling it just to make sure. Because I'm pretty sure If you copy a spell with kicker and you paid the kicker cost, I'm pretty sure that you've copied it with kicker. When you copy a kick spell, the copy is kick 2, according to this guy on, I don't know, some judge forum. But I think that's also probably the same place that told me that if you flashback with Goblin Dark Dwellers, it's the same site, not the same guy necessarily. But if you redo Tormenting Voice with Goblin Dark Dwellers, you don't have to pay the additional cost. So, grain of salt, guys. I could be completely wrong. I'll have to look it up in more detail later. But I think that's true. It was just something I thought of late last night, right before I started last night's stream. And I'm like, hey, Remy, why don't you pull out that thing that copied spells for me before you go to bed? He's like, okay. So I'm thinking about doing that. Otherwise, I think other than just getting like 1 mana, 3 damage spells, I mean, it seems like it's going to be a fine thing to slide in there. Also, it's another artifact for Karn, which is good.
Corn?
No, not corn. Karn.
Corn.
I don't like corn. I like Karn.
How else do you explain the children of the Cornstructs?
They're just Karnstructs.
Corn.
Maybe. All right. But I do want to run one more thing through you or by you on this Sunfire and Sun speaker list. Where?
One more thing through you. Here's a dagger.
No, not a dagger. A question. Where do you put Crested Sunmares, and how many in this 75 cards?
Probably 2, and at the high end of the curve.
Okay, that's not what I meant, but okay. I was
don't
thinking.
know.
I agree with 2, but I was thinking 2 in the sideboard to be brought in against the control deck.
Potentially, yeah. Or against the like really heavy aggro decks.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna eat them.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So right now, I don't have the exact list like completely mapped out in front of me, but I have the pile of cards upstairs. So let me see if I can remember. 4 braids. Is there an 4 braids, potentially up to 4 fight with fires. The white enchantment that like exiles a tapped guy. 3 main deck 3 mana or 3 damage to everything / cycles. Sweltering Suns.
Yep.
Currently I'm running 2 of the 5 damage to everything and planeswalkers.
Okay.
And currently I have 2 of the blow up a land, do 20 damage to everything.
Yes.
In there. And then I've got 2 Chandras, 1 Jaya Ballard, and 4 Karns. And then 4 treasure maps and 2 of the is it Azar's Gateway or something?
Yeah.
The artifact that does stuff. And then
Azor's Gateway?
yeah. And then I'm running like the Scryland. 1 inches of battlefield at Scries. And then all the dual lands I can basically get away with running. So I'm hoping that all that stuff's gonna kind of like fumble out a little bit and work. The sideboard, I think I'll just put in more rafts, or just fill it up with creatures. I haven't decided. Probably like my 3 mana Gideon will go in the sideboard because I think I only have 1. And then again, I figured some number of Sunmares. But after that, I'm not real sure. Oh, I have 1 Immobulating Fire that I think I want to play in the main too. But I'm not 100% sold on that. I'm also not 100% sure I want to keep Jay in the main.
Why not, dude? She's solid.
I think because part of the reason that I'm a little hesitant is the overcommitment to red. Like the deck is really streamlined towards red right now,
Okay.
which seems fine. Kind of what I was leaning towards. You know, I've been saying for a long time I want to play like a big red deck, and
Yep.
this is probably it. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's what I really want to do, or if I want to be able to just be like, all right, well, in my sideboard, I'm going to have 4 Glory Bringers, like 4 of the Chain Whirlers, and just like sideboard in all these big, like relatively efficient creatures, and just like try to overrun the control deck with like more critters. Or if I want to do something like put in the saga that blows up all the lands, and then everyone gets 2 lands after that.
Yeah.
Because if I do, then I do want to keep the Jaya in, because then I'll be able to cast my spells between the Jaya and the treasure maps, hopefully, and the treasures from it, and the other thing. Oh, and the Chandra. That's what I was trying to think of. So I'm hoping that they'll have enough additional mana that I would still keep ahead after I blow up the world. So I'm just not sure. That's why I need your thoughts. And I need to say these thoughts out loud. So what do you think? What should the sideboard look like? Mostly to beat the control deck.
Yeah, because, like you were saying, you already have enough removal for creatures. So do the control deck still play Ixalan's Binding and Cast Out?
Usually some number, yeah.
Then
I
maybe
don't-
something to deal with those?
Well, so I thought about putting in the blow up everything that's not a legendary permanent. Because it just costs 1. But I think it's also it's a legendary spell, so I have to have at least 1 legendary thing out there on the board to do it.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to do that, I think I just would rather have more legendary, like more exciting things to put into play. But maybe not. But otherwise, I'm not. I thought about running like some of my own cast outs back, but I just don't think I care.
Yeah.
Oh, also I have the 3 Sun Song and Fire Speaker, whatever the name is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like anti-control things that aren't splashing blue specifically for counterspell or black for discard. Uh,
Well, that's just it, right? Like those are the places we've been going lately to fight the other control decks.
right.
So I'm just trying to figure out, well, what's an artifact? An artifact or red or white thing that you could do to balance that out.
You could do Sorcerer's Spyglass.
I could do some number of Sorcerer's Spyglass, but like what, you name Teferi most of the time? I guess that's okay.
Yeah, it's like you name Teferi, or if you're going to Karn v Karn, take out yours and then call theirs.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in love with that. I feel like my Karns are just going to be better than theirs, because so many of my spells hit their Karns.
Right.
And in theory, I have more main deck artifacts than they do.
Right.
So my Karn struck should be bigger than their Corn strucks.
I don't know. They're all Cornstructs.
I don't know. Lots of questions, lots of things to figure out. It probably will be one of those things where the deck will just like sit on my dining room table or living room table until it's ready, and then I'll just like pick it up and or I shouldn't say it's ready, until I'm ready to head to the tournament, and then I will sleeve it up and just run.
Right.
But I feel like if I can figure out, and if someone ends up watching this video, please leave a comment on what we're missing. But like, I really want something like that big green dinosaur, or, huh?
Galta?
No, not Galta. The one that says it can't be countered, and it's like hexproof or something.
Oh yeah, Carnage Tyrant.
Carnage Tyrant. Like, I really want something along those lines, but there isn't anything. I could run the all your other stuff gets hexproof angel. The 3/4. That kind of gives an extra layer of protection. Like, I was thinking about maybe running those. Like I said, Glorybringers, Chain Whirlers. I'm just trying to think what else gets like some sick value. That Blade Wing might be really strong.
Varix?
Yeah, like it could come down on 4 if I need it to, and then it could come down on what, 8 and make a token?
7.
7 to make a token. So like if I could force something through, like it is 2 creatures for 8 points of life swing.
Yeah.
So like it's a potential thing. I don't know. I definitely feel like against control, I'm gonna have enough cards that I can take out. You know, like I'm gonna be able to take out the 5 mana Wrath, the 20 mana Wrath, blow up a land. Probably a Braids will be able to come out unless they are also running things, which means I can keep in the Fight with Fires. I can maybe even the enchantment that exiles a creature might be able to come out. So I might have more than 15 cards that I want to sideboard out against control anyway. So is sideboarding in 15 cards? Like maybe I run Squeeze. It's like, go ahead, deal with this. My Squee army shall surely defeat you for 2.
Come on, I told you to deal with it.
That's right. So yeah, I'm not real sure what the best strategy is to beat control in a red-white deck now, other than just try to be faster.
Yeah.
So I need to lock down sideboarded games.
So I forget, lightning strikes or shocks?
I currently do not have lightning strikes or shocks. I went with the Braids, but they could be lightning strikes instead.
Well, yeah, because oh man, I'm also tired. Because if you're trying to be faster, then you want to get rid of their life total too.
Correct.
So why not burn them also?
Yeah, I like that idea. To be able to burn them also, but I think I would rather them go, oh, well, you're a creatureless except for the Fire Song and the Constructs.
Yeah.
Deck. I'm just going to... They take out most of their little removal, and instead I just like load into this quicker, lower to the ground package and just...
Right.
That was my thinking anyway. Like, I suppose I could put in 15 goblins. Right, like I put in 2 Squeeze, 4 Goblin War Chiefs, the 1/1 with haste that taps to blow up a thing.
Yeah, 4 commanders.
Yeah. And just be like, let's go Goblin smashing. Just like take out all the Wraths, take out all the top end, cut some lands. I figure I'd probably have to run 26 lands.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have to with the Scrylands and the treasure maps and the gateways, but I'm not sure. Gotta crunch some numbers. The thing is so weird. I don't know if it's because it was the buy box promo, but there's like 2 deck lists around Fire Song and whatever it's called. That aren't commander decks. Like, there's almost nobody else building around this idea for standard, and I don't understand. Like, is it that difficult to get them? Like, I got 3 of them, and I didn't buy any boxes. I just traded them from idiots who bought, like, 4 boxes.
Yeah, I have no clue. Like, I haven't even, like, tried to look for them.
Okay. Also, if you're an
Maybe
idiot that I
that's the
traded
reason.
from, I love you. I don't mean idiot in a degrading way.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the reason they just nobody cares about them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe it's not a card that's gonna. This is not its standard yet to shine. Maybe
Yeah.
it's post rotation going to shine. I feel like it's a super strong card.
Well, maybe it's gonna shine with Ravnica.
Is that the next set getting released that causes the rotation?
Yep,
Okay.
that's the fall set is Ravnica.
Yeah, I think maybe once Kaladesh rotates out, maybe it'll have its time to step up and be like, I'm a champion. So
Could be. I mean, it definitely. I don't know, what are they sitting at now, price wise?
I think I got them for like 14ish.
Yeah, that sucks. That's probably why no one's going after them.
It might be less. I don't know. I had a whole bunch of those foil Rebecca Gaylands,
Yeah.
and I don't know about your shop, but they're kind of hot here. So
There's a couple people who like crave them.
yeah. So like I just gave the guy like 20 some of them, and like it's like, all right, well you owe me $12 or whatever. I'm like, okay. Then I found two more, and I'm like, all right, here you go. He's like, all right, well, now we're down to $10. I'm like, sweet. Now we can get to the point where I can just like pay your entry fee on a draft and not feel guilty.
Yeah. See, everybody's like, super hyped about her lands and the unstable lands, and I'm just over here saying, give me more Amonkhet full arts.
Yeah, I really like the was it the Hour Devastation ones? Like,
Yeah, where everything like kind of decrepit.
yeah. I like those. Like the sun setting over the swamp. I kind of like
Yeah.
those the best, but yeah, I don't know. I also have at least 2 foil unglued forests that I need to get rid of too. Last I looked, they were like $70 a piece, but they may have gone down a little bit since then. Yeah, I needed that crazy guy to come pay 70% for a lot of my crap in cash.
Oh, last I knew he was going to Yellowstone.
Well, that's a little far away for me to take my collection up
Yeah.
to. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. All right, guys. Well, if you have any tips and or advice for me, please hit the comments or send me a tweet. You can still tweet me at twitter.com/SamusGuerrobo. You can also check out the website, samusguerrobo.com. You can send us an email, the number 2trollsbrew@gmail.com. And unfortunately, there's no way to get a hold of Travis now, except for sending him an email. He's like making a shit-eating grin and flicking his thumb in the air. I don't know. I wonder how much longer it's going to be before you're back on something. Like, I feel without some sort of social media addiction itch scratching, you'll come back to the other.
Well, and like, okay, so here's the issue. I realized that the majority of the time that I was posting was to try and bait you or like 2 of my coworkers into an argument.
Right,
And
which is
then-
why I just basically stopped responding to any of your baiting comments.
Right, and so did they. So I was just basically like, all right, well, now there's nothing for me to do.
I mean,
And-
I commented the things that were like not baiting related.
Yeah.
Like when we talked about magic, or you commented on somebody else's magic related thing. Like I did that kind of stuff with you, but I just wasn't going to get in a political fight with you over Twitter.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know if
that's
I've
maybe
matured or...
do. I think that's maybe what I need to do is just focus on magic stuff and not have anyone that I know personally on there who isn't already magic based.
Yeah, maybe. So, like, the other way you could go is I know there's a forum. I can't remember what it's called. Some more liberal-minded friends of mine tried to get me on there because they wanted to have a more right-leaning voice on the forum. But there's like it is an open forum, but you have to like apply and be accepted kind of thing. Like it's not really open, like you just can't make a new account and go in there and flame somebody and then delete it. So it's like semi-protected.
Yeah.
But they specifically debate intense political topics and what things that people would consider to be, I don't know, like semi-controversial. And they debate those kind of things there. Which is why they were trying to get me on there, because I love to argue with people, and I'm just like, can I talk on it? Because I'm not going to be able to type a coherent thought. Because by the time I figure out what words I can spell, the thought is already gone.
Yeah.
Now, if you're interested in something like that, I can try to get that information from them again and send it to you. Because I know that if you don't get a way to get your arguing out, I don't think you're going to be a very happy person.
I mean, I can always just ignore everybody.
Right, which makes it fun and exciting to do this podcast with you. When you sit there and ignore everybody and play with your cards. Travis,
well,
answer my question.
I got to fidget with something. Always.
Right, which I think is fine.
I figure fidgeting and playtesting is better than other things that I could do.
That's true. How about this? This is a question. Did that $400 of windfall essentially go into your replacement computer fund?
Nope.
Okay. I was just thinking that maybe getting you on Magic Arena would be worth your energy.
No, because I really don't care about Standard.
Sure, you don't care about Standard today, but you might care about Standard in 6 months.
Yeah, well, in 6 months I'll look at it again.
Okay. I don't know that much about the arena yet.
So everything that I hear is like, so the majority of it is okay, you know, but then obviously I don't really care about Standard. I haven't for a while, and the drafting on there is supposedly $10 per draft, which is
great.
Fine. Like the $10 a draft would be fine if we could liquidate the draft, or liquidate the cards back into our own personal account, like you can with like Magic Online or drafting in paper. But it's essentially like, once this, so far what they've said, once a set rotates, it's basically just, no, well, you don't have the things anymore. So it's kind of, well, why do I want to spend money doing that?
Oh, it doesn't turn into their dust or whatever? Like,
No.
I thought the cards had a way that you could destroy them, kind of like Hearthstone, back into something to get you new stuff going forward. Maybe that's just things that are duplicates.
Well, and that'd be fine, but if it rotates and you don't let me destroy anything to like turn it back into my own economy, then I'm not gonna want to spend money on it.
Yeah, that's fair. I said I have not got accepted into the beta. I reapplied, and I got some stuff that made me think maybe I'd get my invite soon.
Yeah.
Because I can't play. I mean, I can't justify playing it if I'm not streaming it. So when they had the NDA up, I couldn't. I felt no reason to get a key because I wasn't going to play it and I couldn't stream it. Then they lifted the NDA, and I applied for, like, the very first day I heard that they were lifting it, which was like a week and a half or 2 weeks before. I applied for a key, and I've still not gotten one. Where I know at least 3 people at the shop who have applied after I have, and they've got it now. And they really like it, and they're having a good time. One of them's like, let me come over to your house, and we'll install it on your computer, and we'll play on your stream. I'm like, that's okay. I'll just wait patiently. But I reapplied, and I got some new confirmation stuff that made me think that maybe I'd be on the next list. But then I saw on Twitter they sent a bunch of invitations out, and I didn't get any. So damn you, Sharktopus.
Maybe Watsy just hates you.
Probably. So let's just talk about two of these cards before we leave. Two of these M19 cards.
Is one of them Sarkin?
No. I was going to talk
Then
about
I don't care.
these two white cards. Well,
Wait, is one of the white cards also blue and green? And it's assault formation, and when a defender enters, you draw a card?
it could be, but I wasn't on the list. I wanted to ask you about this new Wrath.
Meh.
Man, destroy all creatures or destroy all artifacts and enchantments.
Yeah, it's white. I don't care.
Okay. At Johnny's Last Stand? You're going to tell me again it's white, you don't care?
Is that the enchantment, the Soul Sister enchantment?
I don't think so. This is
The one when
it's a 4-mana enchantment. When a creature or planeswalker dies, you can sacrifice it to get a 4/4. Or if you discard it, you can get a 4/4.
yeah, I don't really care about that.
I feel like this card is interesting. Like, this is a good design. Because you can kill off your own planeswalkers pretty easily. So, like, if you're gonna, especially like if you play a replacement one,
So, but read it again.
whenever a creature or planeswalker you control dies, you may sacrifice a Johnny's Last Stand. If you do, create a 4/4 white avatar creature token with flying. And then
So that one doesn't have to be killed by
an opponent.
your opponent stuff.
Correct. The discard one
Okay.
does say opponent.
Okay.
When the opponent makes you discard. If you could just discard it to yourself and get
Yeah.
the thing, you'd just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep this 8 or this 7. I'm gonna draw my card up, discard. Ah, darn it! I skipped a land drop to play a 4/4 on turn 1. My bad.
So, I was playing Modern with the other day for F&M, and I kept a 0 land hand with 3 archive traps in it.
That seems like a Travis thing to do.
Yeah, well, I knew my opponent was playing Scape Shift. So, he drew a 7. Like, he didn't know what I was playing, so he drew a 7. Then he suspended, the Search for Tomorrow. He passed turn, and then I drew my card. I was like, oh crap, it's not a land, so I discarded a Fatal Push. So he still didn't know what I was doing. And then his second turn, he played a wooded foothills, the red-green fetch.
Sure.
And then he cracked it, and he got a Stomping Ground, and I was like, and then he passed turn, and I'm like, okay, at the end of your turn, archive trap ×3. And he reads it, and he looks at me, and he goes, that's why you kept a 0 lander, huh? I'm like, yeah, it is. He goes, I hate you so much.
Because that's
All right,
like,
let's see if I have any win conditions left.
because it's
And he
13 a
had-
thing, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about 39 cards off the top. So
Mhm.
he already drew. He's drew once, twice,
Right.
plus his 7,
Yes.
right? So 7,
Plus
8,
the
9,
fetch.
plus his fetch, so 10. So basically, he's down to 11 cards in his deck.
Yep.
Seems good. I mean, hopefully he can beat you with that 7 in 11 turns.
Oh, he couldn't.
No, not a thing that was happening. All right, man. Well, it looks like my wife came home with some Wendy's, so I'm gonna pig out on some Wendy's as a fat piece of SIM, and I hope you guys
Nice.
all have a week. We need a troll off besides troll on from Travis.
We need a what?
A special sign off, so we can like alternate between troll on and whatever the other thing is. Like, I need a catchphrase.
Well, why is my catchphrase troll on? Why can't that be yours?
I don't know, Toodles.
What?